we went from Kitty Hawk to landing on the moon in 66 years, right? Flying a box kite, okay, with a guy laying down on balsa wood and fabric, to taking off in the Saturn V and getting to the moon, and in 66 years. Remarkable progress, right? Aviation also is incredibly safe, right? I mean, let's face it. Commercial aviation, we know the statistics, is safer than virtually any mechanized activity we're involved in. The reason it's progressed so fast, in my opinion, and the reason it's so safe, is that every time aviation reached the envelope, the predicted envelope of safety or performance, some guy strapped on a flight suit, got in the airplane, and pushed it past the envelope, right? What are those guys called? Test pilots, right? Yeah. Test pilots are willing to take the risk personally to advance the field. Okay? That doesn't happen in medicine. In fact, medicine has become a profession where real personal connectivity is not the norm. It's actually somewhat discouraged by the current way healthcare is deployed. You know the old saying, why should you trust your pilot? You should trust your pilot because he's sitting in the airplane with you, right? If every doctor had the same diagnosis of the patient they're treating, you'd be amazed at how they'll pay attention to how to get that disease under control. There's a great example of it, by the way. There's a very rare disease called Castleman's disease. And there's a guy named David Feigenbaum. I think I pronounced his name correctly, but I'll give it to you. David was a star quarterback at Georgetown in college, strapping young guy, gets into medical school, and right when he's starting medical school, he falls horribly ill. He winds up being diagnosed with this extremely rare disease called Castleman's disease, which is a lymphoproliferative disorder. It's like a cancer. Nobody knew what to do for him. Nobody knew how to help him. The guy decided to figure it out himself. So he discovered the cure for his own disease. Okay? So there's something about the test pilot mindset, the willingness to say, this ain't good enough. I'm going to push this beyond. And the personal connectivity between the pilot and the aircraft. If translated into medicine, where doctors had that same personal connectivity and had something at stake and a willingness to push the envelope the way that test pilots do, I think it'd be good for medicine. That's one clear example. The other thing is that, in medicine, in aviation, every fatal failure in aviation is attacked with a relentless root cause analysis and systems engineering analysis. I love it. The NTSB guys, the National Transportation Safety Board guys, are freaking heroes. They sit around with beepers and they have their go team. If there's an airplane crash, they're on an airplane and they're there in 6 hours, 4 hours, whatever, and they're tearing things apart to find out what the cause was. What that means is it's very unusual for a fatal failure in an airplane to recur. Because when they find out what the fatal flaw was, they fix it. Perfect example. Remember the Alaska Air crash in the Pacific, where the airplane's jack screw that controlled the horizontal stabilizer broke, and they lost control, and the airplane went upside down and crashed in the ocean? When they found out that was a problem, every single airplane was analyzed, every single jack screw, and then they instituted a policy of inspection and replacement. So here's the thing in aviation. Aviation is designed to look at all mission-critical components and identify the predicted lifespan, and then they replace it at like 50% of the lifespan. And every mission-critical component has either a redundancy, a backup, or it has an inspection schedule that makes sure that you fix things before they ever go awry. That's what we need to do in medicine. That's what my companies are doing. Fountain Life, Human Longevity, is designed to, it's like the inspection schedule that an airplane goes through. It's an inspection schedule. We actually analyze and review patients' genomics. We look at high resolution MRIs. We find things before people ever notice. In these companies that I founded, 14 to 30% of people who come in with a clean bill of health, and these are affluent people who have great health care, that large percentage identifies something which is a potential cause of premature death that, if addressed early, is curable. The American Cancer Society says that every stage 0 cancer has an extremely high probability of cure, but you got to find it at stage 0. That's why you need these inspections. And so I sometimes think that what I've learned in aviation, I'm trying to bring into medicine, because I do believe it would dramatically improve the quality and safety and so on.